Hey guys, it's Carolyn from Homesteading Family, and today we are talking about pumpkins. There are some things that you need to know in order to make the best pumpkin pie spice anything out there with fresh pumpkins. All right, so let's get right into it. This is a pie pumpkin. This is different than the kinds of pumpkins you get from the grocery store or from the pumpkin patch for Halloween activities or fall decorating activities. Usually those are different types of pumpkins. For the best results in eating a pumpkin, especially for a sweet type of dish, if you're looking to do something sweet like a pumpkin spice type of thing, maybe you want some pumpkin bread, maybe you're looking for your Thanksgiving table pumpkin pie, then you want to make sure that you are choosing a pie pumpkin. These are often called a sugar pumpkin or a sugar pie pumpkin, but if you're buying them from the store, make sure you look for the term sugar pumpkin or pie pumpkin. If you are growing them, make sure you grow a good variety for your area, and that is known as a pie pumpkin. Now, a lot of winter squashes can be used as a pie pumpkin. The qualities of a pumpkin like this is that it's gonna be meaty and it's gonna be sweet, and it shouldn't be stringy. So those are some of the important things. Now, something that happens often, especially if you're buying these from the grocery store, is that the farmer who grows them knows that he's going to get the best price for his pumpkins if they're the earliest out on the shelf. That means that sometimes the curing process is cut short when you buy them at the grocery store. Now, curing a pumpkin or any winter squash is very, very important, not only to its storability, but also to its flavor and its texture. If you've ever gotten a pie pumpkin, made a pumpkin pie out of it and gone, oh, that's not that great, then it's probably because it wasn't properly cured. So when you get your pumpkins, make sure you get them early. If you have grown them yourself, the chances are they'll already be ripe weeks before Thanksgiving. And make sure that you set them out to cure. Now, curing them just means that you're going to put them in a place that they're not going to freeze, they're not going to get direct sunlight on them, and they're not going to get too hot. By too hot, I mean a really warm day. You don't really want them getting up into the 70s, 80s, anything above that. So try to find a coolish spot that is fairly dry, not very humid, and you just set them there. This can be in a cooler kitchen, it can be in a back room somewhere, but the big thing is they need to get some airflow. What you're doing when you're curing them is you're allowing this outer shell to harden properly. Now, the meat inside is also developing sugars when this happens, which is making it sweeter and making it a better texture. But you want to make sure that you get your baking pumpkins a few weeks early. You get them set out somewhere so that you can make sure they are properly cured before you go ahead and cook with them. Okay, so this pumpkin has been cured for at least 6 weeks now. He sat out. He's a very nice pumpkin, came right out of a garden. One of my favorite varieties. This is a luxury pie pumpkin. I love these things. Taste so good. Absolutely great flavor, absolute great texture. Now, most people wonder what the best way to cook a pumpkin is. For anything where your pumpkin is going to be pureed, I'm going to show you my favorite method. Number one is we want to go ahead and get rid of the stem. Now, I do that just by taking it and smashing it right on the corner of a countertop like this. And you see that just pops right off and just takes it right out of there. Now, a lot of people are worried about their nicely cured and hard pumpkins. And this goes for winter squash too, like that butternut that you want to cut up for minestrone. It can be really hard getting through that. A lot of people are concerned that they're going to cut themselves if they actually try to cut it. Now, this pumpkin is not that hard, but if you are concerned about that, I'm going to show you a trick that I use all the time. And that is just to put one single vent hole in it. You can even do that right up through that stem scar that you just opened up, and then put it in the oven whole. Now, I'll show you one that I've done like that. It's right here like this. This was a whole pumpkin that was just roasted in the oven. It becomes now super easy to peel. Can you see how easy that is? I'm just gonna peel this peel right away. No getting out a vegetable peeler, nothing like that. So the way you do that is you're just gonna put this on a cookie sheet or a pan of any sort. You're gonna put it in a 350-degree oven. The time can be a little tricky because it depends on the size of your pumpkin. Now you're gonna wanna start checking it at about 20 minutes for a small pumpkin, all the way up to an hour for a large pumpkin. And your test is to make sure that your knife is just gonna go straight in without any resistance. That is a well done pumpkin. Then you can pull it out of the oven. You can let it cool down, but then look at this. I've peeled all that peel off. This one's still a little warm. It came out just a minute ago. I'm just gonna open it up, and there are all those seeds right there, and I can just run my hands over them and seed them very quickly. Now, and then you have a wonderful pulp. Once that's done, this guy's too hot for me to show you, but once that's done, you end up with this beautiful there's a beautiful pie pumpkin meat here, the pulp that is ready just to be put in a blender, put in a bowl with an immersion and used an immersion blender, anything that you want with it. It is now ready to go and is super simple to do. Okay, now if you have large pumpkins that you need to fit into your oven, the best method for this is to go ahead and cut them in half. So this guy's not too tough. Again, he's a pumpkin. Some of the other winter squashes are much, much harder than this. So this is a pretty easy guy. And then I like to use my fingers for this. I just feel like our hands are one of the best tools that we've been given. And I just scoop out all these seeds. Of course, whether you have baked it with the seeds in it or you are cooking it without the seeds, you're pulling the seeds out raw, make sure you save those seeds for delicious pumpkin seed treat. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get all the seeds out of here, and you wanna get all of these stringy center parts out too. You don't, well, maybe not all of them, but most of them. You just don't want those big stringy chunks in your pumpkin pie. That's not the best way to go. Okay. Now, one really important thing to know when you're working with a properly cured pumpkin of a good baking variety, especially if it's a homegrown variety or something grown by a local farmer who would have picked very carefully the variety he's using for edibility, is that your pie pumpkins have the potential to be much, much sweeter than a lot of recipes are written for. Now, the wonderful, wonderful thing about this is that you can use much less sugar. The tricky part about it is you really need to taste each one. So once you get this cooked and pureed, you can taste it and start judging how much sugar you need to add to it instead of just dumping in the whole amount for a recipe like a pie. This is very sweet all by itself, and it only needs a little bit of sweetener. Take care, you guys. Have a great time, a wonderful celebration. Make sure to always be thankful. Subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. Thank you, guys.